Hello everybody and welcome back. Today I'm going to be showing you how to make this card using the stencils that came in the most recent Paper Pumpkin kit, aka March 2021. So, for this card you're going to need the cloud stencil and the mountain stencil, some sort of embellishment of choice, this is mine, a stamp of some sort. I'm using the thank you from Peaceful Moments stamp set. Love the stamp set. You're going to need some sort of blending brushes. These are mine. They're kind of dirty, but I digress. You're going to need a ribbon in either blue or green. I chose blue. And you're going to need some inks. So for mine, I used Shaded Spruce and Misty Moonlight. They go really well together, so. All right, everybody, let's get started. I'm going to show you how to make this card. We're going to get started with a paper that is cut to 4 1/8 and 5 3/8. Those measurements are a little iffy. Basically, it's just so that it mats nicely on our card base. Also, you're going to need Wink of Stella. This is the best thing ever. If you don't have it, 10 out of 10 would recommend. It's amazing. Alright, so let's get started. The first thing we're going to do is our mountains. So, have our mountain stencil right here. So, also, forgot to mention this, but you're going to need a few pieces of lined paper. Let me just grab mine. There you go. You're going to need a few pieces of lined paper. This is just helpful so you have something to work on so you don't get ink all over your desk like I did. Alright, then you're going to move the mountains, I'd say a little, like about halfway, a little less than halfway, up your paper and off to one side. This is very important. So, you're going to open up your ink pad. I'm going to use the green for the mountains. You're going to get your brush. Nice and soft and pretty. Then, you're going to go into the Shaded Spruce. Then you're going to ink off on the paper 2 or 3 times until you stop seeing these really fuzzy pieces. And then, you're going to very gently begin to brush over the mountain outline, doing your best not to fill in any of the other outlines and not to move the stencil. Also, if you can make the top of the mountains darker, it makes it a little easier when you're blending later. Alright, so you see I have my mountains, right? But I also have this gap of stuff over on the side. So, you're going to take your stencil, and you're just going to slowly fill in this side. And then, once you get it all the way over the edge, it shouldn't take that long. It's okay if you get some underneath because we're going to fill it all in anyway. Then you have your gorgeous little mountain range. Now we see these lines, we can just like kind of buff them out with some ink. Because we're eventually going to buff out the whole bottom half of the paper in this gorgeous green ink. So if you do your best, you can buff out the lines a little bit. And then you're just going to buff the paper. Trying your best to blend the lines between the mountains and the parts that you're buffing. on your own. There will still be a little bit of a line there, but it's a pretty line. Like that. And then those are your mountains. Then, once you finish your mountains, you're going to close your green ink pad, because if you don't close the ink pad, trust me, you will somehow, some way put your brush on the wrong ink pad and start making green clouds. Nobody wants that. So, unless you do, which I mean, all power to you. So, next you're going to need your cloud stencil. I did 2 big clouds, 1 medium cloud, 1 small cloud for mine. So, I'm going to take, I have this kind of note paper over here off to the side that I've kind of been using to make sure that I don't get blue anywhere where I don't want blue. So, I'm going to take the big cloud and put it up here. I'm just going to mat the bottom just so that I don't get blue ink on my paper. I'm also going to mat this side to doubly make sure I don't get blue ink on my paper. Then you're going to brush into the ink, brush off on the paper. Do your best not to move the paper like I just did. This paper is going to be a mess when you're done, so just keep that in mind too. And you're going to make your cloud nice and dark here. And then look, you have a perfectly stenciled cloud. Now we're going to do this 3 more times. I'm going to speed it up as I go, just so you guys don't have to watch it along. Okay, so now that you have all your clouds stenciled in, we're going to take the same Misty Moonlight ink pad. We're going to do a very, very light tap into the ink pad. You're going to brush it off a lot so it's really light. And then you're just going to do a very light dusting over the upper half of the sky. Just kind of to give the sky a little bit more color so that the sky isn't so flat. Alright, and then you're going to take your banner. So this banner I pre-stamped with Misty Moonlight, the thank you stamp. So I'm going to add 1 of the embellishment of my choice, which is this gorgeous blue gem. Then I'm going to take my ribbon. Unironically sitting right in front of me. I'm going to cut a small piece. Actually, this ribbon's almost empty, so cut a small piece, probably about to the length where you want it. And make sure it's long enough to wrap around the back. Your thank you is going to end up going right on top of it, so there's just a little tail sticking out. So we're going to use dimensionals to put it together, so and it helps if when you're sticking down ribbon like this with the dimensionals, you put them kind of like each off to one side so that they just hold the ribbon down. Then gonna peel off your dimensional backs. Make sure that